Many students still struggle to stay engaged in the classroom. Good morning, respected lecturer and fellow classmates. My name is Francisca Adriana Natasha Baptiste.
My name is Chris Evelyn, and I am Dartini Kanajam.
This question reflects one of the biggest challenges in education today. While technology has transformed the way we learn, many classrooms are still trying to find the best balance between traditional teaching methods and modern learning approach. Today, our group will be discussing the topic improving education through technology and student engagement. Throughout this presentation, we will explore the importance of education, the challenges faced by students today, and finally, a practical recommendation that could help improve the learning experience in schools. To begin, let us first understand what education really means. Education is the process of gaining knowledge, skills, values, and experiences through learning. It helps individuals develop their abilities and prepares them for future careers, personal responsibilities, and lifelong learning. However, education is much more than simply achieving good grades. It teaches us how to think critically, solve problems, communicate effectively, work with others, and become responsible members of society. These are essential skills that help us succeed not only in school but also in everyday life. Education also plays a vital role in improving people's quality of life. It provides individuals with better career opportunities and more stable incomes and the knowledge needs to make informed decisions. For example, someone with the right education is often better prepared to adapt to workplace changes, solve real-life problems, and contribute positively to the community. Beyond personal development, education is equally important for the progress of nation. A well-educated population helps strengthen the economy, encourage innovation, supports scientific and technological advancement, and contribute to solving social issues. This is one of the main reasons why governments around the world continue to invest heavily in improving their education system. Despite its importance, education today continues to face several significant challenges. One of the biggest challenges is student engagement. Many students find it difficult to stay focused throughout lessons, especially when learning relies mainly in traditional methods such as reading textbook or listening to long lectures with very little interaction. As a result, students may become distracted, lose interest, and participate less actively in class. Another challenge is that students have different learning styles. Some students learn best by reading, while others understand concepts more easily through videos, visual presentations, hands-on activity, or group discussion. When teachers rely on only one teaching method, it can be difficult to meet the learning needs of every student. In addition, technology has completely changed the way students access information. Today, learning is no longer limited to the classroom. Students can search for information online, watch educational video, attend video classes, and use learning applications whenever they need extra support. Because of this, traditional teaching method alone may no longer be enough to meet the expectation and learning habits of today's students. These challenges clearly show that education need to continue evolving. Schools must find effective way to keep students interested, motivated, and actively involved throughout their learning journey. Having discussed the importance of education and some of the challenges it faces today, let us now look more closely at this issue and explore how technology can become part of the solution. I'll now hand over to my group member who will explain these challenges in greater detail and discuss how technology can help create more engaging and effective learning experience.
Thank you, Francisca. As my group member has just explained, education is essential for both personal growth and national development. However, there are still several challenges that can affect student overall learning experience. One major challenge is student motivation. Many students gradually lose their interest in learning because they feel that lessons are repetitive or not closely connected to their daily life. When students cannot see how what they learn applies to the real world, they are often less motivated to participate and engage in classroom activities. For example, imagine sitting through a 1-hour lecture where the teacher speaks the entire time without asking questions or encouraging discussions. After a while, many students may lose focus, become distracted, or simply stop paying attention. When this happens, it becomes more difficult for them to understand the lesson, remember important information, and perform well academically. Another challenge is the limited use of technology in some classrooms. Although technology has become an important part of our daily lives, it is not always fully integrated into teaching and learning. In some schools, lessons still depend mainly on traditional methods, even though digital tools are now widely available and can greatly enhance the learning experience. When technology is used effectively, it offers many valuable benefits. For instance, education video can explain difficult concepts in a simple and engaging way by combining visual, animation, and real-life examples. Online quiz make learning more interactive and provide immediate feedback, allowing students to identify their strengths and areas for improvement. In addition, educational application enables students to practice skills independently and learn at a pace that suits their individual needs. Technology also encourages active participation. Instead of simply listening to a lesson, students can take part in online discussions, complete interactive activities, answer live quiz questions, and collaborate with classmates using digital learning platforms. These activities create a more dynamic classroom environment where students become more active participants rather than passive listeners. Another important advantage is accessibility. With internet access, students can continue learning anytime and anywhere, whether they want to revise a lesson before an examination, complete assignment at home, or watch an educational video to better understand a topic. Learning is also no longer limited to classroom hours. This flexibility helps students become more independent and responsible learners. Technology also benefits teachers by making lessons more creative and engaging. Teachers can use presentations, animations, educational videos, virtual demonstrations, and interactive games to explain complex topics more clearly. As a result, lesson becomes easier to understand, more enjoyable, and become more memorable for students. However, it is important to remember that technology should not replace teachers or traditional teaching methods completely. Instead, it should be used as a tool to support and enhance classroom learning. Teachers continue to play a vital role by guiding students, answering questions, encourage discussion, and providing the personal interaction that technology alone cannot replace. Therefore, many educators believe that combining technologies with effective teaching practice can increase student engagement, improve understanding, and encourage lifelong learning. By using both traditional teaching methods and digital tools together, schools can create a learning environment that is more engaging, flexible, and more effective for today learners. Now that we have explored the challenge in education and the role technology can play in addressing them, the next question is, what practical steps can schools take to put ideas into action? With that in mind, I'd like to hand over to my group members who will present our recommendations and explain how it can be successfully implemented in schools.
Alright, thank you, Chris. After understanding the importance of education and discussing the challenges faced by students today, our group would now like to present a practical recommendation that could help improve the learning experience in schools. Our first recommendation is that schools should introduce a weekly interactive digital learning session. This means that once every week, students would take part in lessons that combine educational technology with interactive learning activities. This session could include educational videos, online quizzes, learning application, virtual simulation, group projects, and classroom discussion supported by digital tools. We believe this recommendation would be effective for several reasons. First, interactive digital learning sessions can make lessons more engaging and enjoyable. Most students today are already familiar with technology in their daily life. When digital tools are used in the classroom, students often become more interested, motivated, and willing to participate because the learning experience feels more interactive and relevant. Second, these sessions can improve students' understanding of difficult subjects. Some topics are easier to understand when students can actually see how they work. For example, science concepts can be explained through animation or visual simulation, while language learning can be strengthened through educational application, interactive exercises, and online pronunciation activities. These digital resources make abstract concepts much easier to understand. Third, interactive learning encourages greater student participation. Instead of learning passively throughout the lesson, students become actively involved in answering quiz questions, working together in groups, and sharing discussion, solution solving problems, and collaboratively. This active involvement not only making learning more enjoyable, but also helps students remember what they have learned. Fourth, weekly digital learning sessions help students develop essential 21st century skills. These include communication, collaboration, creativity, critical thinking, problem solving, and digital literacy. Such skills are becoming increasingly important not only in higher education, but also in future workplace where technology and teamwork play a major role. Of course, introducing this recommendation requires careful planning. To ensure that this is successful, schools can follow several practical steps. The first step is selecting educational tools and digital platforms that are suitable for both teachers and students. The chosen technology should be easy to use, reliable, and appropriate for different learning needs. The second step is providing teachers with the necessary training. Teachers need to feel confident and comfortable using digital tools that they are integrate technology effectively into their lessons and create meaningful learning experience. The third step is scheduling one interactive digital learning session each week as a part of regular school timetable. Making these sessions is consistent part of learning helps students become familiar with this approach and ensures that technology is used regularly rather than occasionally. The fourth step is monitoring student participation and collecting feedback from both students and teachers. Their opinion can help school identify what works well and what can be improved. Finally, schools should review this feedback regularly and make any necessary improvement. Continuous evaluation ensures that programs remain effective, relevant, and beneficial for everyone involved. In conclusion, education remains one of the most important foundations for personal growth, lifelong learning, and national development. Although today's education system faces challenges such as low student engagement and changing learning needs, technology provides valuable opportunities to create more meaningful and effective learning experience. By implementing a weekly interactive digital learning sessions, schools can create rooms that are more engaging, interactive, and enjoyable. This approach has the potential to increase students' motivation, improve their understanding of lessons, encourage active participation, and equip them with the essential skills that they may need in the future. Ultimately, technology should not replace teachers. It should empower them. When combined with effective teaching practices, technology can transform learning into an experience that is more engaging, inclusive, and relevant for today's students.
Right, thank you Dorothy and Chris. Before we move on, we can see that education is much more than the process of gaining knowledge. It plays a crucial role in shaping individuals, preparing them for future careers, and contributing to the development of society. However, as the world continues to change, education must also adapt to meet new expectations and challenges. To bring us to the next part of our discussion, having understood the importance of education, let us now explore about school education and examine how it influences the quality of teaching and learning in today's educational environment.
Today, we are going to learn about school education, homeschool education and online learning. I will begin by explaining school education. First of all, I would like to sharing about the definition of school education. School education is the traditional form of learning where students attend a school building and are taught by qualified teachers in classrooms. Students follow a structured curriculum set by the Education Authority. In school educations, learning takes place face-to-face with teachers and classmates. Students attend classes according to a fixed timetable and participate in academic lessons as well as extracurricular activities. Schools also provide facilities such as libraries, science laboratories, sport fields, and computer rooms to support learning. For example, students studying in primary schools, secondary schools, or college attend classes every weekdays. They learn subjects such as mathematics, English, science, and history while participating in sport days, school clubs, and competitions. There are several benefits of school education. It provides a structured learning environment. Students develop communication and teamwork skills through social interaction. Qualified teachers guide students throughout their learning journey. Schools offer various facilities and extracurricular activities that support students' academic and personal development. However, school education also has some challenges. For example, students must follow fixed schedules and school rules. Next, large class size may limit individual attention from teachers. Some students may experience stress from examinations, homework, or peer pressure. That is all about school education. Now I would like to invite my friends to explain about homeschool education.
Alright, thank you, Chris. Now I will explain homeschool education. Homeschool education is a learning method where children are educated at home instead of attending a traditional school. Parents, private tutors, or online instructors usually take responsibility for teaching. Homeschooling offers a flexible learning environment. Students can study according to their own learning pace, interests, and abilities. Parents can customize the lesson and choose teaching methods that best suit their children. For example, a child may study mathematics in the morning, conduct science experiment at home in the afternoon, and visit museums or libraries for educational activities. For some homeschool, students also join online classes or community learning groups. The benefits of homeschooling include flexible learning schedules, personalized teaching based on each student's needs, stronger relationship between parents and children. Students can spend more time involved developing their talents and interests. Despite these advantages, homeschooling also has challenges. Students may have fewer opportunities to socialize with peers. Next, parents need to spend significant time planning and teaching lessons. Furthermore, learning resources and educational activities may be limited compared to traditional schools. In conclusion, homeschooling provides flexibility and personalized learning, but requires strong commitment from both parents and students. Now, I will pass the presentation to Francesca, who will explain online learning.
Alright, thank you, Dorothy. Finally, I will explain online learning. Online learning is a type of education where teaching and learning take place through the internet using digital devices such as laptops, tablets, or smartphones. Students attend virtual classes using online platforms like Google Classroom, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or Moodles. Learning materials, assignments, quizzes, and discussion are all conducted online, allowing students to learn from anywhere with an internet connection. A common example is university students attending live online lectures from home. Another example is learners taking online courses on platforms such as Coursera or Khan Academy to improve their knowledge and skill. Online learning offers many advantages. Firstly, students can learn anytime and anywhere. Secondly, there is access to a wide range of educational resources. And it also helps students improve digital literacy and independent learning skills. It also can save travel time and transportation costs. However, online learning also presents several challenges. Firstly, a stable internet connection and suitable devices are required, and students also may become distracted easily while studying at home. There is less face-to-face interaction with teachers and classmates, and some students may feel isolated and less motivated.
So, to conclude, each type of education has its own strengths and challenges. School education provides structured learning and social interactions. Homeschooling offers flexibility and personalized instructions, while online learning allows students to study from anywhere using technology. The best type of education depends on each learner needs, learning styles, and circumstances. Thank you for your attention. We hope this presentation has helped me to understand the three types of education.
Alright, next, we are going to discuss an interesting and often debated questions, which is, in education, which is more important, intelligence or effort? Some people believe that intelligence is the key to academic success because it allows students to understand and solve problems more quickly. Others argue that hard work and consistent effort are the truly determine success in education. To be honest, before preparing for this discussion, I also believed that intelligence was the most important factor in education. I thought that if someone was naturally gifted, success would naturally follow. However, as I listened to different perspectives and reflected to my own experience, I realized that this issue is much more complex than I first imagined. Without further ado, let's begin with Francisca. From your perspective, which is more important?
Thank you, Dorothy. I strongly believe that intelligence is more important in education because it provides students with the ability to learn efficiently, solve problems creatively, and adapt to new knowledge. First, intelligence helps students learn faster. Intelligent students usually understand new concepts more quickly. They require less repetition to master difficult topics. This allows them to spend more exploring advanced knowledge. A student who quickly understands mathematics can move to higher level questions while others are still learning the basics. Besides, intelligence improves critical thinking and problem solving. Education is not only about memorizing facts, but students also must analyze information, evaluate evidence, make logical decisions, solve unfamiliar problems, and all of these skills rely heavily on intelligence. For example, during science experiments, intelligent students often identify patterns and explain results more effectively. Moreover, intelligence encourages creativity and innovation. Education today values creativity. Students with high intelligence often thinking outside the box, create original ideas, invent new solutions. These qualities are essential in careers such as engineering, medicine, and artificial intelligence and scientific research. Furthermore, intelligence provides a strong foundation for lifelong learning. Technology changes rapidly, and intelligent learner can understand new technologies, adapt to changing environment, continue learning throughout life, and this adaptability is becoming increasingly valuable.
Alright, thank you for your opinion, Francisca. How about you, Chris? Do you agree with Francisca?
Thank you, Dorothy. Although intelligence is helpful, I firmly believe that effort is more important than intelligence because success in education depends on discipline and continuous improvement. First of all, efforts allows anyone to improve. Intelligence is something people are born with. However, effort is something everyone can control. Students who practice regularly, ask questions, review mistakes, never give up, will continue improving themselves. For example, many students who initially struggle eventually become top performers through consistent study. Secondly, hard work beats natural talent when talent does not work hard. There is a famous saying, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. A highly intelligent student who skips homework, ignores revision, may perform worse than an average student who studies consistently. Discipline creates success. Other than that, efforts develop resilience. Education is full of challenges. Students experience such as difficult exam, failures, disappointment, and stress. Only students who keep trying despite failure continue growing. Effort builds. Next, effort builds such as confidence and determination. These qualities are essential not only in school but also in life. Lastly, scientific research supports effort. Psychologist Carol Dweck introduced the idea of the growth mindset. She found that students who believe intelligence can grow through effort, achieve higher grades, become more motivated, and recover from failure more effectively. So, this shows that effort can even strengthen a person's abilities over time. So, that's all from my perspective.
Alright, thank you Chris and Francisca for your insightful opinion. After listening carefully from both perspectives, I believe one thing is clear. Both intelligence and effort are essential in education. Rather than competing against each other, they complement one another and together create the strongest foundation for success. Firstly, intelligence certainly matters. Intelligence gives students an advantage in learning. Students with strong intellectual abilities often get new concepts more quickly, analyze information more deeply, and solve complex problems more efficiently. They are also more likely to think critical, make meaningful connections between ideas, and develop innovative solutions. For example, in subjects like mathematics or science, an intelligent student may recognize patterns, understand theory faster, and apply knowledge to unfamiliar situations with greater ease. These abilities help students perform well academically and prepare them to solve real-world challenges in the future. However, intelligence alone is not enough. Imagine a student who is naturally gifted but rarely studies, skip assignments, and give up whenever learning becomes difficult. Over time, the student's natural ability may be wasted because talent without action cannot produce lasting success. On the other hand, effort is equally important. Effort is the driving force that transforms potential into achievement. It allows students to practice consistently, strengthen their weakness, and continue improving even when they encounter difficulties. Unlike intelligence, which is largely something we are born with, effort is a choice that every student can make every single day. Through dedication, perseverance, and self-discipline, students gradually build knowledge, confidence, and valuable learning habits. More importantly, effort teach resilience. Every student experiences failure at some point, whether it is poor exam result, a difficult project, or a challenging subject. Students who continue learning from their mistakes instead of giving up become stronger, more independent learners. These qualities are not only important for school but also success in the university, the workplace, and life itself. So, what does this tell us? Education does not require us to choose between intelligence and effort because the two work best together. Do you guys agree with me?
Yes.
Thank you. Perhaps the real question is not which is more important, intelligence or effort. Instead, we should ask how can students make the best use of their intelligence through consistent efforts. Education is not about choosing one quality over another. This is about recognizing that every student has different strengths and encouraging them to develop their full potential. Intelligence may help students begin the journey, but effort determines how far they will go. Likewise, efforts become even more effective when it is guided by intelligence. So, we conclude that the greatest educational success comes from combining intelligence with efforts. As the saying goes, intelligence opens the doors, but effort keeps it open. I think that's the end of our discussion. Thank you so much, everyone.